Hi guys, Belle from Hampton, your house here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I recently painted this gorgeous solid wood bookcase and gave it a whole new look. And this piece started off with a very shiny varnished surface. So I've got some tips to help you if you're wanting to paint a shiny wood varnished surface too. I'd love for you to like and subscribe if you end up enjoying this video, and let's get straight into it. So you can see straight away how shiny this surface is. I bought 2 bookcases like this secondhand, and the surface was so nice I was a bit hesitant to paint over it at first, but I'm really glad I went ahead. First, turn the bookcase on its side and grab an orbital sander. I used an 80 grit sanding disc on mine because the varnish was so thick, but if your varnish isn't quite so thick, you might want to start with a 120 and only move to an 80 if it looks like nothing's happening. Next, you'll want to grab some sandpaper and get into all the fine grooves, and make sure you're sanding in the direction of the grain of the wood as much as possible. The next step is very important, and that is to clean your piece with some water and a tiny drop of dishwashing liquid to get rid of any sanding dust. If there's dust left on the surface, it will get stuck in your paint and it might even make it harder for the paint to stick. You could also try adding a little bit of white vinegar to the water, which helps to strip any oils off the surface before you paint. Once it's completely dry, grab a spray-on undercoat and spray the insides of all the shelves, especially grooves and hard-to-reach corners, and make sure you have a mask and good ventilation. I chose this undercoat option because it specifically helps to enhance paint adhesion and durability, and starting with such a shiny surface, I thought this would work best. You could also use a paint-on undercoat or primer. Just make sure it specifically helps to enhance adhesion, especially if your piece of furniture previously had a very glossy finish. As you can see, this stuff really fills the air, so take a few steps back to let it clear if you need to before continuing. I decided to paint the back of my bookcase grey, so before I started with the white paint, I masked off the back areas with painter's tape and then got stuck into painting with my small roller and brushes for cutting in at the corners. For this project, I used Dulux Aquenamel Vivid White in the satin finish. Make sure you get the paint into all the little grooves and details. I did a full second coat of white and then touched up any little areas that needed more coverage after that instead of doing a full third coat. Then, time to carefully peel off the painter's tape. It didn't peel off quite as nicely as I was hoping, but it did help to keep a lot of the mess off the back of the bookcase. Last job is to paint the back of the bookcase. First, carefully cut in with a paintbrush all around the outside edges, then paint the boards. You could use painter's tape again, but I ended up deciding that was too time consuming. I did 2 coats of the grey, and I used an Annie Sloan chalk paint simply because that's what I had on hand. And here's the finished product. Here's the before and after. I'm so happy with the two-tone look that I went with. It just gives a really nice point of difference and added sense of style. The surface has turned out perfectly, and I'm so glad I used the spray primer to get into all the difficult corners and grooves, and to help the paint stick where it was harder to sand. I would love for you to subscribe if you've enjoyed this video, and for more inspiration, please come and join me right now in the next video. I'll see you there.